Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. Welcome to another episode of The Big Idea. I'm your host, Jason Seymour. I'm the spokesperson for the U.S. mission to the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. We started this show, The Big Idea, because we wanted to talk to Southeast Asian leaders who have had big ideas and turn those ideas into a reality. And we have a special guest for you today, Debi Timoria. Please join the show. Hello, Debi.
Hi, everyone. Hey, Jason.
Welcome to the show. Now, the reason I wanted to talk to Debi, everyone, is because Debi has really focused on a community in Indonesia that touches on so many of the things that the US government cares about. Entrepreneurship, starting a business, creating opportunities and empowerment for women, and preventing domestic violence. All kinds of different important issues being touched on at the same time. And Debi, your focus is a community called Kandanu. So please say hello to everyone.
That's right.
Tell us what Kandanu is.
Hi. Oh, yes. Hi, everyone. Hi, Jason. First of all, I want to say thank you for you, Jason, and special to US ASEAN that give me a big opportunity to share my story from Sumba Island.
Well, thank you so much. We're happy to have you. So tell everyone a little bit about Kandanu.
Oh, okay. Before I tell about Kandunu, I want to tell a little bit about Sumba Island. So Sumba Island is one big island in East Nusa Tenggara province. And in here we have a local belief named Marapu, and we also live, it's kind of rural area in Indonesia. And about Kandunu, Kandunu is a weaving community that I gathered together. Is an intergeneration weaving community that consists of differ from teenagers and the elderly in my village, Mauliru village. And this, since 2018, we have started discuss about our weaving condition in Sumba, especially in my area. And then in 2020, we began to start our focus on this Kandunu community. Actually, Kandunu is one of the pattern in Ikat, which means stars in English. And in Indonesia we call it bintang, but Kandunu is bintang, and Kandunu is a local language from Canberra, from my area. Why we choose this? Because stars have meaning as a guide in our community. Like in some of our rituals, the position of stars in the sky is used to guide the community leaders to know the time to start an important rituals. So we want to become a good example for young people in Sumba that can guide us and that can guide other young people to have better understanding about how we can protect the environment, preserve the culture, and save the future.
So, Debi, did you grow up in Marapu or another part of Sumba?
Yes, I grew up with Marapu community, but my family has other religion. But for some other rituals, we still doing it right now.
And I want you to excuse me one moment. Yeah. And I want you to show everyone the beautiful outfit that you're wearing and tell us a little bit about this beautiful piece of art.
Oh, okay. So this is Ikat weaving from East Sumba, especially from Canberra area. Actually, this is made by my grandmother. So my grandmother made this and give to my mom when my mom was young. And then after that, my mom gave it to me. So actually, this Ikat, it's about more than 30 years now because I'm 30 years old. And then this made by my grandmother before I was born. So it's kind of old clothes.
Beautiful. I wish your grandmother would make one for me. That's gorgeous. So there are many talents in this community, and you wanted to do your part to bring attention to this community. So please talk a little bit about the documentary that you created.
Okay, so in Kandunu, we want to make Kandunu as a space for learning and sharing the knowledge and the skills about making woven. So we try to make a documentation in video. We make a short video and share to the people when we have discussion or in our Instagram. And also I write some articles in media, in online media, and also in the book about stories from the weaver in Kandunu community.
Mm-hmm.
But yes.
And how did the community respond to you when you said, I want to film you, I want to document what you're doing? Were they excited about the opportunity? Were they nervous? How did they respond?
They respond at the first. They feel strange for some reason. First is because the one who asked them to doing the documentation is me, a young woman and a local people, because they used to see the one who make film or recording them is recording people is from big city and a man with big cameras and others, while I'm go to them and then ask their story with a book, and then a simple I just use handphone and record and simple things that I bring to them. So they see me as at the beginning they see me as a strength woman, because they're thinking that why a local woman like me, the one who grow up in their area, wants to know more about them, because usually young people like me will more interesting about other things like what happened in big city or the other things, not what happened in our area. So at the beginning, I feel difficult to engage with them to get their story because of that, because they not really believe me, they not really want to share the story, and they assume that I have know all the things that they know. So they don't really want to share their story. But I try to make a strategy. I try to take advantage of being a Sumbanese woman that know the local language. So I speak with them with our local language, with Canberra language, and then I try to involve in all the process for making Ikats. And then after that, they start to believe me, and they start to thinking that I deserve the story about weaving. So they want to share their story, and also I try to explain to them why I have to make this documentation.
I think that's a really good tip could learn from you, because many young Southeast Asians would like to make documentaries and would like to preserve elements of the diverse cultures. There are so many throughout Southeast Asia, that it's that genuine expression that I'm doing this, I'm making this documentary because I'm really interested. I'm genuinely interested in you as people and what you do. It certainly helps if you speak the language, but people don't always speak the language. But if they show that genuine curiosity, they can open doors and those conversations can occur.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
Do you have any special memories of a specific weaver from the community? Maybe a story you could share, one particularly special moment?
Yes. I want to share a story why I really want to do these activities. So I grew up in Sumba and spent time as up to high school. And at the time, I was a teenager and busy with school stuff. And I always thought how to get a good grades in class or how to become the best students in the class. Even though at the time in my area I have to study without electricity, but I really want to do my best for school. And that's the moment I don't really pay attention for the people or activities that people doing around me. Then when I go to college in outside Sumba in city in Kupang, when I came back after college, I feel a little bit strange with my identity, with my family. I feel like I disconnect with the culture, with the people in my village, especially related to the culture. Like, for example, when my mom and my grandmother talking about something about weaving, I cannot engage with them. I just listen and I don't understand what they talking about. And I feel like I'm not the part of them. So that's the moment where I start to thinking that I have to learn something about my culture. I have to back to my culture. I have to doing something that that make me engage again with the people in my area. And then I choose weaving. I see that weaving can be a link where I can regain my identity as a Sumbanese woman. By understanding the weaving and all the values that I learned in weaving, I realized how important the weaving in our culture, in social life in Sumba. That's the story that make me really want to do what I'm doing right now.
Those family connections are so important. History, culture, ethnicity, it's all wrapped up in there. So I'm going to ask you I'm going to ask you some more questions about how weaving it can be associated with preventing domestic violence. I'm going to ask you a question about that, but we're going to pause for a moment, and I'm going to ask my assistant, let's see if this works, to bring up some images from your Instagram page so the audience can see some examples of the products. Let's see if we can make that happen. There we go. And just scroll down a little bit. Now, describe some of these images. Pause for a moment.
Maybe you can up, yes, for the red one. Yeah, stop. Yeah, for the red one, the one near the sea, after the ocean, the red one. If you can up again a little bit.
A little more.
No, no. Sorry. Yes, yes, that's right. The one that you point with 21. I think so. Yes, that one. That is we made that weaving, and you can see the patterns in that pictures. Is like it's a lion, two lions with one bed. It's the picture from colonialism. the pictures where people in Sumba, where people in Sumba see in the flag of one country that have colonialism in Indonesia, and they try to give the story and the history from to us as a young generation. So that's how the women in Sumba tell the story about the past. They picture it, they draw it in the patterns of Ikat weaving.
We have a scroll of hearts from one of your fans, Roswita Rambo Lodang. Thank you for your emojis. So thank you so much, Assistant. Let's go back to our conversation. But I love how you're showing us that these weavings, they're not just beautiful art, but they have a story. Yes. They tell of the history of the community. Yes. Yes. So I tease the audience a little bit because I know that this weaving is helping to prevent domestic violence, although that might not be obvious at first. So Diana, tell our audience, how could that be?
Okay, besides Kandunu, I also volunteer in Solidarity for Women and Children, or we call it SOPAN Sumba in Sumba, in my area. And in that organization, I know a lot of violence against women because we advocate for it in my area. So we want to Kandunu become a learning space for young weaver and hope it can make them have a good income, especially for women who cannot continue their school or cannot go to college. Weaving can be economic alternative for women. This is we want to respond to high number of violence against women in Sumba. We believe that women must have economically independent. So I believe that every woman has the right to live peacefully and free to express themselves. But in Sumba, we have so many cases of violence against women. For example, rape, bullying, kidnap marriage, and child marriage. And women in my area usually don't have space to speak because we live in patriarchal system where it's really difficult to women to speak and express themselves and also to be economical independent. So at Kandunu, through our weaving activities, the members, the young people, learn how to weave, and also we try to learn also how to sell our weaving. By have the income, we believe that women can more become an independent woman.
With those skills, she has the possibility of income and options. So she's not required to stay in a bad situation. Now I'm curious, in this community, if someone wanted to learn how to weave, but she didn't know Canberra or she wasn't Sunga, would the community allow her to learn and join in the skills building process?
Of course they can. They can come, they can contact us and come to us, and we can learn together in our village, in the community. We welcome everyone as long as we can share the same value that we believe in our community.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And if I wanted to talk a little bit, you mentioned before that that these weavers use a natural dye. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Okay, in our area we have two colors, the blue one and the red one, like I wearing, and that's like an identity for us. from the past, we always have the two colors. And for now, we are a little bit difficult to find the plants that we use for the blue, both of them, the blue and the red colors, because now the environment is damaged, and then the environment damaged because the pesticide that people use in the farming, and also because there are a lot of development that not really care about the environment. So now we found that these plants is really hard to find.
Now, for each of the different colors, because you have reds and greens and blues,
yes.
Each of those is at a different flower? Or how
yes,
do they find that?
Yes, it's each of them from different plants, and not just one, but there are another plants that support this color, so they can stay for as long as we can keep it in our. We can make, like for this one is for more than 30 years, and it's still, we can steal the color of it. So yeah,
that's amazing. Those colors are so vibrant. Even through the camera, I'm sure in person it's even better. So Diana, if someone wants to see the documentary, the videos you're creating, how does one and how is one enabled to watch that material? What's the best place to go?
Actually, for now, we share it in Instagram, but it's just a short video. But actually, we have planned to make it more longer, to put in the YouTube. But we haven't done it yet because there are 42 processes to make weaving, to make Ikats, and then we haven't finished all the process. But I have some friends that also making a documentary video about weaving. Sisters before me, so maybe if you can, maybe they can see it in YouTube, but not for Kandunu, because we still on process, because we want to take it slowly. We don't want to just have the process, but we want also to capture the stories and the value and the philosophy of the process. That's why it's a little bit takes time.
It definitely takes time. Creating a documentary is a real process, and you want to do it right, and you want to give respect to this community that you care so much about. And you have another fan, Susana, said all the best to you, Diana.
Thank you.
Diana, and to Diana, I'm sure would love to have people help her. So I'm going to put out a call for her. If you know something about creating videos and documentaries and you would like to help Diana, please either put a comment below, contact the embassy. You can find Diana at her Instagram page. We'll put a link below so you can find her. This is really an noble project to preserve this culture, and also a business that is good for the environment, provides a lot of opportunities for women in this region, and as you said, provides an opportunity sometimes for women in particular who are not always allowed or able to complete their education, and they need to find other opportunities to take care of themselves and sometimes their families. So there's so many rich qualities to supporting this business and what you're doing. And I just appreciate you so much, Diana.
Thank you, Jason.
Thanks so much. Well, we're going to wrap it up here. Thank you so much to our audience for joining us. As I said, if you're interested in learning more or maybe helping out Diana in some way, put a comment below or reach out to Diana through the Instagram page. There's lots of ways you could get involved. And if you have other stories you'd like to share with us about similar entrepreneurship opportunities, support for weaving communities, we're always interested to hear more stories and support more entities throughout Southeast Asia. So again, thank you so much, audience, for joining us. And until the next time, until the next episode of The Big Idea. Thanks again, Diana. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you, Jason. Yes, you too.